Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. So if you've watched me for any time at all, you know that I am a really good flower gardener and I am a really terrible vegetable gardener. But that doesn't stop me from trying. That doesn't stop me from continuing to work on the skill of planting veggies and growing my own veggies for cooking. So that is what I'm doing today. I am getting one of the most popular veggies that you can grow yourself, garlic, in the ground. And really, it is one of the easiest because you just have to plant it and then you basically just wait. Because I live in zone 9, fall is the best time for planting my garlic. You want to plant garlic right before you have the coldest time of your season because garlic likes cool weather. And here in California, we don't get cool weather until about October. So planting in the fall is super important if you want to have the best success and the biggest bulbs for your garlic. So a couple tips for planting garlic. One is garlic likes full sun. You want to put garlic in at least 6 hours of sun. However, they do say that if you live in a really, really hot area, because garlic likes the cool weather, you might want to give it a little bit of afternoon shade. So that's what I did last year. I ended up planting my garlic in this Vigo bed right here and on this side because I thought it was going to get morning sun and afternoon shade. But I think based on the crop that I got from my garlic this year, it was kind of small and I just don't think that it had enough sun based on this tree right here. So I am moving my garlic, which you should do anyway. You should crop rotate, basically not plant the same veggie 2 years in a row. So I'm moving my garlic from this spot right here over to one of these beds in the full sun. So I'll be planting my garlic probably in this square right here, maybe this square, depending on how much I can fit. So think about finding a spot that has lots of really, really good sun for the garlic, but maybe a little bit of afternoon shade, just a little, not too much. So once you figure out where you want to plant your garlic, you have to think about what type of garlic you're going to plant. And you need to know about the two main types of garlic. There are soft neck garlic varieties and there are hard neck garlic varieties. And it's really important to know the difference because how you're going to plant them is going to be different and it depends on where you live. Again, if you live in a hot climate like I do, you probably want to go with the soft neck garlic. This is going to be the easiest garlic. It's going to handle our heat so much better. This is what most of the garlic that we see in the grocery store is. If you live in a cooler environment, you probably want to plant hard neck garlic because hard neck garlic likes cooler temperatures. It needs cooler temperatures. Hard neck garlic is known for having a little bit stronger of a taste, a more robust garlicky taste, and there's more varieties of hard neck garlic. So it's really fun. So if you live in a hot area like I do, you don't have to plant soft neck garlic. This is just going to make your life easier. If you want to plant hard neck garlic though, you have to treat it the same way that you treat tulip bulbs. They have to have a period of what's called vernalization or a chill period, chill hours. So if you live zone 8, zone 9, zone 10, you need to think about pre-chilling your hard neck garlic bulbs in the fridge, just like you do with tulips. So the other thing you want to think about for garlic is you want to make sure that you get seed garlic. And this I got from my local garden center. And there's a reason that you want to use seed garlic and not just garlic that you get at the grocery store. Garlic at the grocery store can be treated with a growth inhibitor, which means it's not going to produce anything. It's not going to grow anything. And you just can't ensure that garlic that you buy from the grocery store doesn't have that. You can buy organic garlic, but organic, you just never know, even with organic stuff. So just go buy it from the garden center and that will ensure that you have seed garlic that is actually going to grow. So then you can see Jason is amending this garden bed right now with some planting mix that has compost in it and a lot of really healthy stuff as a soil conditioner. What does this planting mix have in it, babe? Fir bark, mushroom compost, perlite, and earthworm castings. So Garlic is a super, super heavy feeder, and you want to make sure that it has plenty of nutrients where you're planting it. That's going to allow the garlic bulbs to absorb all of the nutrients that it needs as it grows over the winter and into the spring. Now, the other thing that you can do to help your garlic grow is you can pre-soak it overnight. And what that means is that you're going to break up the bulbs, and then you're going to put the cloves in some water with some baking soda and some like seaweed fertilizer. The seaweed fertilizer is going to help get the roots stimulated and get them growing, and then the baking soda is going to prevent any fungal growth. It's not something that you have to do. I was planning to do it to show you guys, but I forgot, so I'm not going to do it this year, but it is something that can be recommended and can help you. So once you've decided where you want to plant your garlic and what type of garlic you want, then you have to break apart the bulbs of garlic that you get. So they're going to come like this, just like in the grocery store, and you have to break them up. You don't want to plant them just like that. That's not going to grow well at all. You want to break them up just like if you're cooking with them. And if you have soft neck garlic, you're going to have a lot of little cloves and a couple big ones. If you plant hard neck garlic, you're going to have a lot of big cloves, so that's going to be fine. With the soft neck garlic though, you kind of want to go in and you want to discard these little dinky guys, right, like that one, and it's not going to grow very well. This is not going to produce a very good garlic bulb next year. But this guy, this giant guy right here, this one is going to do great. So this is one that I want to plant. So you just kind of want to go through, you want to try and leave the papery skin on, and you want to just pick out the biggest cloves that are in your garlic, like this guy. Dinky, not going to plant that. So I've got all my garlic broken up. I made a complete mess that I need to clean up, but you can see size really does matter. Here's a dinky clove. All my other dinky cloves I just put down there. And then you can see right next to it, I have a nice big robust clove. So all the big ones I've put in here. So this is how many cloves, good cloves that I have that I want to plant. So now you have your cloves, and now you have to think about the spacing of your garlic. You want to make sure you're not crowding your garlic. They're bulbs, they need to grow, and they need to absorb all the nutrients from around it. So you don't want to plant them too close together. I think that that was another mistake that I did last year. I planted them too close together. You want to give them about 6 inches of space. I've heard 3 to 4 inches is enough, but I would say 6 inches is probably better. Plus my drip irrigation, it has emitters every 6 inches, so it's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant all of these in here. I'm going to plant them about 3 to 4 inches down. Basically dig a hole about 3 to 4 inches down into my nice loose soil. And then when I plant my garlic clove, it's pointy side up and root side down. So that's the root, that's the bottom, and then the pointy side you want to plant up. Just want to tuck it in and then cover it up, and there's your garlic. Okay, and garlic is in. So I'm just going to water this in well. And then one thing I don't have right now, but I do want, is I want to get some mulch and put a couple inches of mulch over this garlic, because that mulch is going to keep the soil cool, which is exactly what garlic wants. Again, garlic is a cool weather crop. It likes the cool weather. So by having mulch, it's just going to keep all that heat out of here. I just don't have any right now, so I got to go to the store and I got to get some mulch. And I'll put a couple inches in this bed. So you guys, that's pretty much it. That's it for planting garlic. It's relatively easy if you know just a couple things that you have to do, making sure you're planting it in the right spot, making sure you're picking the right garlic, and then making sure that you're planting it far apart from each other in nice fertile soil. So I'm not going to worry about this guy at all until spring. Spring is when I will actually start fertilizing it a little bit more. Like I said, garlic is a heavy feeder, but even a very poor veggie gardener like myself can plant garlic and be successful. So you can too. How's that for a pep talk? So this garlic planting was inspired by my friend Bob. Bob, I actually did a garden tour of his garden, let's see, back in May, I want to say, April or May of this year. Beautiful garden. I will link that garden tour video at the end of this video and in the description down below. But I was talking to Bob and he was telling me about this homemade lasagna that he makes, and he makes it with ingredients from his veggie veggie garden, including spinach that he puts into the homemade pasta, and garlic, of course, that he puts into the bolognese sauce, tomatoes that he has grown. It's just absolutely incredible. So he invited me over to kind of help him make the lasagna, and then also invited Jason and I over for lunch to eat the lasagna, and it was absolutely incredible. And he actually invited Fanula from Cottage Gardens of Petaluma as well. And so we had a lovely dinner together, and I asked him if I could film it, and he said yes, film the process of making the lasagna, because it is quite a sight to see. So let me show you all right now. Hi, Bob.
Hi,
Good
Janey.
to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yep. So for those of you who don't remember, I visited Bob and did a beautiful garden tour back in May, and he invited me back kindly for lasagna night.
Which we're going to do today. We're going to make it, and we're going to eat it Friday.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So the lasagna is basically, it's your recipe, right?
Well, it's from my grandmother, my dad's father, Maria Traverso Lavori, and various friends of mine that are professional chefs. The ingredients are pasta, which is using spinach from our garden, which we grew last fall and harvested in the spring, and froze some, so it's in the pasta, and eggs and flour. The bolognese sauce has tomatoes from the garden,
wow,
garlic and onions from the garden,
wow,
and various herbs from the garden, like basil, which is still here,
right,
and we have remnants of my parsley,
right,
and oregano, and that's sage and so on, which are growing over there. That'll all be in the bolognese sauce with tomatoes, tomato sauce, wine, the herbs.
Is it Traverso wine?
Traverso wine,
of course.
And then we did a cashew cream sauce, as opposed to an Alfredo sauce or a bechamel sauce for the lasagna.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's partly because we're trying to be mainly plant-based.
Yes, I remember you telling me at the garden tour.
And the bolognese sauce is plant-based. We took the meat out and added plant-based meat, a little bit of plant-based meat.
Oh, interesting.
So that's plant-based. The only sort of non-plant-based are the eggs and the pasta, and that's it. Everything else is plant-based.
Today's Wednesday.
Right.
And we're not going to actually eat this lasagna until Friday. So you make it in advance.
And let it set. This is the pasta mixer, or the mixer with the pasta roller attachment, which is what we'll use to roll this into a 4-meter long or 12-foot long sheet of pasta. 12 feet
of long. Pasta. Okay, tell me about what's in here.
Okay, so now this right here is roughly 2.5 cups of flour, 3 eggs, and about 2.5 ounces of frozen spinach. So the eggs and the spinach thawed spinach go into a food processor, pulse that for a little while, and then add the flour, about a cup at a time, keep pulsing that. And once it's thoroughly mixed, then I take it all out of the food processor and I check for the stickiness of the dough. And it's usually too thick or too sticky. So then I start adding flour and kneading it here until I get the texture that I want.
How do you know what's the right texture?
Well, it's the feel. You want it a little sticky, but not too sticky, because we're going to be adding more flour as we go along.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want it to get too dry at the beginning.
So when did you make this morning?
This morning.
Okay.
I mean, this takes 15 minutes to do this. Yeah.
Okay. Now what's this?
So this is the bolognese sauce. Again, this is homegrown tomatoes, the basil, parsley, sage, oregano, homemade wine, mushrooms, celery, carrots, that kind of thing.
Oh my goodness.
And that's cooked ahead of time.
Okay.
And then this is a cashew cream sauce, which is cashews with some soy milk or almond, oat milk, whatever you prefer, to get the texture you want.
So it's just cashews?
That's all it is. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing that's not out here yet is going to be Parmesan Reggiano cheese, which we'll put in each layer of this. But I'll bring that out as we get into the process.
Okay.
Put a little more flour on here, just to... This is a slow process. Each time I do this, I have to flour it down because it'll get wetter, if you will.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So this has to go here. Lightly flour it. Adjust this.
So one size narrower?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like 6 feet long, I would say.
At least, yeah.
Gosh.
As you can see, it gets flour all over the place doing this.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So here's 12. Okay.
So that's piece number 1.
Piece number 1.
So how many layers of pasta do you like in your lasagna?
Well, 10 to 12, depending on how thick the dough is.
Okay.
So we'll go here.
Okay, so we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. Yeah, you got plenty of pasta.
I got plenty of pasta. This unsalted water, just boiling water. So these go in long side first. Okay. And 2. And 3. And that sets it real fast like that. There it is. Sheet number 12.
How do you say done in Italian?
Finito. This will dry off part of these to get rid of the excess water. So we lay this one here. So my grandmother's kitchen was a small 4-burner gas stovetop and small gas oven, and she could cook stuffed zucchini, fried chicken, ravioli, focaccia, among other dishes, and it would be a several course meal, and we would eat until it hurt because it was so good. And after the meal, the men would go in the living room and lay down and sleep for a half an hour, and the women would clean the kitchen up.
Oh gosh.
And then we would waddle back into the dining room table to have dessert.
What kind of dessert would she make?
There was various things that she would do. Could be panna cotta, which we're going to have Friday night, by the way.
Ooh, yay.
So now this goes in here.
Oh, you're right. That is way easier.
Yeah.
With the plastic.
Yeah. So now we're going to take or some amount, roughly half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of the bolognese sauce. The key is you want to cover lightly the whole thing. Okay. Then we take some of the sauce, and then you just kind of lightly spread it around.
Yeah, I can't believe that's cashews.
Yeah, it looks kind of messy, but it works. And then you take some cheese, and spread it in there, and then we take the next sheet, and then we'll take a sheet and use it for trim purposes to fill in the hole here.
Oh, I was wondering what you were going to do with that.
This much. Okay. I'll lay that one.
Repeat.
Repeat. And you do this for each layer. And the nice thing about it is there's no calories.
Yeah, perfect.
So just tell yourself that.
Okay.
This is 10 or 11 layers of lasagna dough, all from scratch.
Well, if you don't, I will. Let's see here.
So this is the Parmesan Reggiano cheese ready from here.
Love it.
Probably water.
Wow, that was awesome.
Buon appetito.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.